I try?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Here's a food
Cheers! Chris Kong has cooked for celebrity A-listers and top-name chefs like Daniel Humm, cutting his teeth in some of the world's most renowned restaurants. But last year, the 32-year-old chef quit the glitz and glamour of Michelin-starred kitchens for, well, his own.
After working for so many of these great chefs and doing their kind of food and learning from them as well, you kind of want to find out what's your style. What does Chris's food look like?
Kong is the host of Dearborn Supper Club, an exclusive private dining experience with a distinctly average setting. I've come to his apartment in the east coast of Singapore to find out what has got guests queuing up outside his door to pay $100 a head.
Hello.
Hi, Chris, Karen, nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, guys. Happy Monday.
Hello.
So here what we have in front of you is a beautiful chunk up board. So each of these little snacks kind of play a little story about where I've worked and what I've done and how I've learned and come into Dearborn. I began my career at a very young age, about 15. My parents actually have an Italian restaurant in Seattle.
Interesting.
So they were the first Chinese to open an Italian restaurant in Washington. So from there, I've always been intrigued and been in the restaurant business and kind of just grew up with it.
Chris started out on a traditional path, going to university to study business, but soon returned to his passion.
Later on, I knew I wanted to expand and travel and learn more and work for the best chefs that I could. So after I graduated college, I actually bought a one-way ticket and I went to Malaysia. So I worked for an open-air kind of Chinese seafood to learn about Asian cuisine.
And found himself quickly rising in the ranks.
After Malaysia, I went to Singapore. I sent my CV to a few restaurants and I got a call back from Guy Savoy. So that was a different spectrum from what I was coming from.
You described the cuisine as modern American, but you've got quite a varied culinary history, so how do you use those influences?
It's focused on modern American because as a Chinese American, I grew up in the US and it's such a melting pot. The technique that was drilled into me with the Nomad and Daniel Humm and Guy Savoy is very structured, is very technique driven. And so I try to implement that into my cooking as well as things that I enjoy eating.
But he's also given the menu his own sustainable twist, using mainly vegetarian produce, grains and seafood.
We wanted to cook for people the way that we feel that would help the environment as well. The best feedback is when people come back and like, oh, I didn't know that was a vegetable. Oh, it's like, I didn't miss the meat.
Chris is one of a growing number of so-called supper club chefs who are capitalising on diners' insatiable appetites for new eating experiences. It's a trend that's taken off in cities from New York to London. Singapore alone has dozens, with prices ranging from $35 to $105 a head. So Chris, you've set the price tag at 138 Singapore dollars. That's about $100. How did you come to that price point?
So what we did was we actually had a couple of dinners before with some friends and family as well too, to kind of just gauge where our value would be. And this was the average price point that everybody agreed on. I wanted to give people the feeling that they were coming to a restaurant, but just maybe not in the space, in our house. So you're gonna get the same quality of service and food, and there are no shortcuts in anything that we're gonna do.
He currently runs the business full-time, enlisting the help of his wife and sister-in-law. How does this spread across a week?
So on Monday, I'll start to order things, look at the inventory, what we need to do, and if there are any allergies or dislikes and things that I need to consider when I'm ordering the food. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, I'll begin prepping. And then Friday and Saturday, of course, is dinner, and then on Sunday is the one kind of day off where we get to relax and spend time with the family.
You really couldn't fit in a regular job.
Not the normal job, I would say, not with all this.
And says his business background has certainly come in handy. This is how you're making a living now. How does that work for you?
Cooking is one part of it, but I think you need to also understand cash flow and all the other little teeny bits of running a business. But the benefits from it and it's more than money, you know. It's being able to express yourself and being able to do something that you love to do. It's a lot of like uphill first, and then it gets cruising after a while. I hope.